Hey everyone, Richard Robbins here. Numbers are in for the Calgary Real Estate Board, and I got some pretty good news actually. Everything is trending the right way. So let me show you what I mean. Let's look at January through May. What happened in terms of sales? Obviously, moving into the spring, sales are going to go up. 800, almost 1,000, 1,300, 1,550 roughly, and almost 2,000, not quite 2,000. So sales are up by 24.2% over the month of April. What about active listings? You can see we're 5,500, 5,900 roughly, okay, 6,600 roughly, going up 7,000, and then we get up here to about 7,500. So obviously that's moving up. Now, months of inventory, as you know, if you follow my teachings, is that it will determine the strength of your market, right? So you take your listings, divide the sales into your listings, and it tells you your months of inventory or supply and demand. So if we look at months of inventory, we were 6.8 in January, went to 6 in February, went to 5, okay, in March, April 4.6, and look what happened here in May. Now, people will argue that yes, months of inventory is going to be lower in the spring, but that is not always the case. And here's why it's not. We have much more inventory come on the market in the spring, don't we? That's what it's all about. Like people want to close in June, close in July, close in August before the kids go back to school. But also, our inventory goes up, but so do our sales. So if our inventory is going up and our sales are going up, well, what that means is the months of inventory is probably going to remain relatively the same unless economically things are getting better, which we can see that it is. We're starting to recover from the stress tests and obviously what Calgary dealt with in the oil time. So you look at, we've got things that are starting to look pretty good. What about prices? 451 in January, 461, 460, 460. Look what happened here. See, balanced market, 4.6 months to inventory. 6 months, 5 months, 4.6. What happened to prices? Nothing. All of a sudden we dropped just below 4 months of inventory. Prices start to rise. Do you see how that all works, right? Which is really cool. So we move forward here. Let's look at the last 3 years, 2017, 2018, 2019. You can see 2,100 sales, 1,725, 1,900, moving close to 2,000 sales. So we're starting to get back to sort of what happened in 2017, at least getting close to that. Months of inventory in 2017, 2.9, right? Then we went up to 4.9. Remember, stress test, obviously oil issues, and now we're sitting at 3.9, which means months of inventory is coming down, number of sales going up. So generally speaking, things looking pretty good. Prices. 2017 in May, your average price was 504. Look, we're sitting at 490 last year, and now we're 473. So of course, it came down over May of last year because last year from May on, the market was a little bit slow, but now month by month, we're starting to see a rise in prices. Now, I want to show you this graph. This is something, as a real estate sales professional, I think you need to have. You should be showing this to buyers, showing this to sellers. Because everybody goes, when should I buy? When should I sell, right? If they're trying to time the market, which isn't always a good idea. But anyway, 2017, this reflects months of inventory. So 2017, what happened? We started up here, okay, and our months of inventory was coming down. Stayed relatively the same, went up a little bit. You can see kept going up right here, and we ended the year at 4.3 months of inventory. Then we go to the next year, 2018. You can see we started here at just over 4, just under 5, relatively flat, started to creep up for the rest of the year. Do you see that? We ended at 6.2 months of inventory. But what about this year? Look at this year. We started at almost 7. We came down, 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 down. Do you see what's different between this year and last year? Right here. See, we were flat last year, going up a little bit. What's happening this year, you can see it's actually starting to move down. So my theory is, who knows, what do I know, but this is my opinion, is that we got the stress test out of the way, okay? Rates were going up a little bit, and rates actually have gone down. Some of the banks have lowered their rates, recently. So we're starting to see a little bit of a recovery where I think people are starting to get over the uncertainty of what was going on, and now they're starting to make decisions, and they're getting back out there, and they're buying, and they're selling real estate. What about prices over the last 10 years? In 2013, your average sale price was $461. Obviously up substantially here to 486, back down to 478, 492, 504 in 2017, okay, 490, and then 472. So if you go back just say from 2013, you can see that really your prices really haven't gained much at all. We had periods where they gained, periods where they went down, but overall last few years we haven't seen a lot of change going on in prices. So anyway, here's my recommendations to you. If you're a real estate sales professional, I think right now you need to be talking to the buyers that are sitting on the fence. I think you need to get them off the fence. And the reason you need to get them off the fence is because of this. Because think about it, this is a trend line. This shows us what's going on. Now, if we go back and if we look at even what's happening right here, okay, you say, okay, our months of inventory, okay, to 4.9, 3 point, you can see everything is starting to creep down, and let's face it, your prices last month actually went up over the month of April. And I think you're going to see that continue a little bit, maybe for the rest of the year. So if you're a buyer, when should you be buying? Rates are good, right? We see prices starting to rise a little bit, which means it's probably time to make a decision, get off the fence, and get into the market. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. We'll talk to you next month again. In the meantime, remember everybody, it's a beautiful life. Make it count.